Hi there, this is a quick demo on how to streamline your structural workflows with Speckle when using Grasshopper and ETABS. What we covered today is how to set up Grasshopper definition with the Grasshopper nodes and some Speckle CSI nodes. Then we will finish with receiving the geometry to ETABS and with analysis. So what do we have here? Here's a small sample model of a canopy which consists of steel frame of columns, beams, members, and has some thin concrete shell on top. So here with the overall Grasshopper definition, which is split into 3 parts. In the first part, we have the setting out of geometry, which are the pure Grasshopper nodes to create geometry. Then in the middle, we have Speckle CSI nodes to set up the analytical properties and analytical elements. Then there is some additional model info. And then at the end, we will send all that model to Speckle. So here in the first part, as you probably already know, setting out for a structural model with a couple of sliders. You can change different properties of this model. And this helps you to iterate faster and then send models to Speckle and analyze them. So when it comes to the geometry, what we have here out, then columns, members, and some edge condition, and beams along the columns, and then the panels for the thin shell on top. What is important when working, for example, with panels is to make sure that the points are correctly sorted to make sure that you can receive them correctly in ETABS. So the points should be sorted around the edge. They shouldn't cross, otherwise the panels will come messed up to ETABS and won't work for the analysis. So with the geometry setting out, we can move on to the next part, where we have a look on the CSI structural nodes, which you can find when you install Speckle and you haven't used them before. You can go to Speckle menu, and there in Show Hide Components, you can activate the CSI components. There is a lot of other components. Also, you can activate by default. They are closed or not visible, not to overwhelm the users. But if you work with structural nodes, this is the way you can find them and activate them. So starting with the analytical nodes, you can then use the node components to set up properties and restraint type. Then for panels, you can create the element 2D from the sorted points, which is talked about. And you can set properties of that slab, some additional structural material properties. And then same applies for the edge condition, members, beams. If you want, you can also set up all the materials in Grasshopper with the structural material properties and the section sizes. But if you want to do this, or if you prefer setting all these properties on the ETABS side, you can as well simply leave the optional parameters empty. Optional parameters are those with the question mark. And for the required parameters, you can just feed in none. And then you can change the settings on the ETABS side. So this is set up for the analytical elements and properties. Then you can set up some additional model info here. And then what is important, you feed all that information to a model. You need to create structural model object so you can then send it and receive it to the ETABS. So all these members, beams, and nodes, material properties, all of that needs to be plugged into the model. And once you have that done, you can specify where you want to send, and you can send to Speckle. I previously already created a new project in Speckle called Grasshopper ETABS demo, where I already created an empty model, and that's the place where I'm going to send the model. And with that, we already see the model has been published, and it's accessible in the viewer in Speckle. So with that, we can move on to the second half and receive everything in ETABS. So then let's open ETABS, and in ETABS, let's just create a new model with the default settings, and we don't need any grids. I'll just create a blank model, because everything we needed to create in terms of geometry has been done in Grasshopper. And you can access the Speckle connector under Tools and open it and run it. And here we go. And Tools and Speckle for ETABS. That's where you can find the connector. And with that, we can go to the Grasshopper ETABS demo. where I created a canopy branch, and I'm going to receive. So let's switch to the receive tab. And with the canopy branch model specified, let's just receive to ETABS. And we successfully received the model from Grasshopper to ETABS now. And let's have a look what we have here. So then these are the structural members. This is the column as we specified it on the Grasshopper side with section sizes and other properties. This is a slab, which we again specified with some properties on the here as we prepared it in Grasshopper. So with that we can run the analysis and see how this design performs. That we need to save the file, and analysis is finished, and we can now see the results here. So we can now check the load cases, sources, and visualize them. And this way you can simply iterate and go back to Grasshopper, create a new variation of your model. And let's say you want to decrease the number of subdivision. You can tweak the model and simply send it to Speckle, where it pops up in a couple of seconds. We see now here in the Speckle frontend, and we have 2 revisions. If you click this revision button, you see that this is our first version, which we sent 5 minutes ago, and this is the fresh new version. And this is then how you can create new models, and then in Grasshopper, and then send them to ETABS, where you can run the analysis. That means a lot more flexibility in creating models in Grasshopper, and then you can leverage the power of ETABS for the analysis. And this is how it works with Speckle.